Hello again, it's Noob, and here we have a Schlosser 3-star Eurocylinder with a magnetic element. Yes, it seems to be very similar to the Avocet ABS and its sort of clone, the Era version as well, the Era 3-star lock, which has a very similar mechanism. The key actually works perfectly well. It's got that magnetic element in position 3, although I would imagine it could be at any position. It's quite easy to tell which position it's in because the keyway is so wide. You just get a torch and have a look. So you press down pin stack 1, nothing. Pin stack 2, oh yeah, there's a gap. So you know that it's pin stack 3. Now the magnetic element essentially pulls a pin up from the bottom to the top and puts it at the shear line. If you don't have the magnetic element, the whole core won't turn. So what you need to do is, in its absence on the key, you can put in a magnet. This is a 4x1mm magnet, and it's sort of a bit difficult because the pins are steel, I think, and you've got to sort of push it in down into where it needs to go. But whilst a bit fiddly, it's not like super hard. It's just more annoying than anything else. So we'll work on that in a second. What I have done is I have disassembled part of the lock. So there's a box, just in case you're interested. The mechanism, sorry, the actual model number, I'm not entirely sure. It does say there that the SKU is UC33545D, but I'm not entirely sure that is its model number. It doesn't really say anywhere, I don't think. So it's just a 3-star Schlosser with magnetic elements as far as I'm concerned. Right, put the box away. Yeah, I partly disassembled this because you need to push out these pins in the anti-snap mechanism and take out an E-clip. You don't probably need to take out the E-clip straight away, but just makes gutting it a bit easier. And then that will gently wiggle apart. There's also a small pin here which can fall out, and this, can you see there? And that actually gets pushed down. If I push it up, gets pushed down by a key being inserted like this. Oh, I've got the magnet in there. But essentially what happens is that this part comes out like that when you put the key in, and it pushes that pin down. So I'll just tap it and you'll see that this part here comes out like that, and pushes the pin down and allows the, I believe it's something to do with the cam mechanism, and allows the cam to turn. That's also, I believe, anyway. But nevertheless, I'm going to just take that out like this and put that here for now, so we won't lose it. Now we can pick this, and you'll see that there's also some trap pins here and here. So we'll probably just get ourselves into a trap, and then I'll pick my way back out of it to show you how you would do that if you were picking this lock. But otherwise, they're not that hard. They're just more of a pain than anything else. Right, let's throw this in a vise and we'll get picking. Okay, so we're in the vise and I've got my autofocus working again. I've got my sort of spacer in here. So it looks like 2 tension tools, but the fact is it's just really a spacer. We've got the magnet in position, so now it's just a case of light tension, just resting my finger on and going in with a flat flag and just seeing what's binding. Nothing on 1, nothing on 2. Pin stack 3 is empty, of course, because it's the magnet. Nothing on 4. And then stack 5, these are pin and pin pins, so you won't be able to just sort of pick them straight away. So let's try again. Pin 1's binding. Into a bit of a false set, that's good. Pin 3. And pin, go back through. Just check on these pins, so pin 2. Seems set, okay. Pin 3, a little click on pin 5 there, so it won't be pin 3, it'll be 4 and 5 here. Okay, now I can go down the other side and just try and tap the center pin, see if any of those need setting. 3 is nothing. 4, oh, I slipped off the pin there. And that's pin 5 again at the back. Getting some counter rotation, but I think that's not true. And we're into a bit of false set. Now, what that means is that we're probably resting on a middle pin now. Something is holding us back up. If it's in that deeper full set, it's going to be one of the center pins. So I'm going to aim for the center pins, and again I can go down either side. So let's go down the right and see where we are. Oh, I just tapped pin, I think 4, the center pin, and we have an open. Now what I want to do is show you what happens when we fire these trap pins. So these are very small sprung little pins. Now I'm just going to take this one out for a minute, and you'll see that we have an open, but watch what happens when we turn it a bit more. What's going to happen is these trap pins are going to fire up into the key pin chambers like this, and you'll see them depress. See that? You see them go in? That means that I can't turn it back now. See, it's a trap. So and now by wiggling it, I've actually got all 3 to fire. So this is now a case of like, well, what do I do? If I go back round again, then these will fire into here. Now if I keep this tension tool tight, that should mean that it goes past that. And then when it gets all the way back round, the trap pins on this side will then fire into there, and then we need to pick them out and carry on. So it can be a real pain. You can use a plug spinner if you're lucky not to fall into this trap. Otherwise you'll have to do what I'm going to do now, which is to just use a flag, and I'm going to pick it back out of the anti-pick. So so hit the center pin, and you'll see some good counter rotation on the pins where we have that trap fired. Much more steep than you think, and yeah, we're back out of it. It's a very big counter rotation on that because these trap pins are very, very small. So there you go. So it doesn't matter which way you do it. If you pick it back, of course you only have to then pick the trap pins once. If you go all the way around, you've got to pick them multiple times. And whilst not particularly hard, it really does hold you up. So if you're doing this in the field, so to speak, then yeah, be willing to spend some time on this lock. Right. So yeah, let's gut it. There's all sorts of things going on here which I'm not too thrilled about. So the first thing I want to do is probably get the magnet out and then put the key in, and then see what the state of play is. So this is a pain, but we can use the flag and a broken pick to sort of find out where that magnet is and sort of scoop it from behind. Come here. Wish I had more light in here now. But yeah, I'm sort of essentially just trying to get under it and scoop it. It's a bit of a pain, but we will get there. There, right, I've got it on the top. It's coming out, it's coming out, it's coming out. There we go. I told you it wasn't that hard. It's just a bit of a fiddle. Right, scrape that off the pick tip. Now we can put the key in, and then we can probably gut it. Right, here we go. Pull this in. Remove the weird bit of plastic that seems to be in here. No idea what that is. Right, here we go. So key goes in. Works fine, as you'd expect. Now this is going to be a bit of a pain. The driver pins and key pins are going to be there. If I use a shim, that might help. So I've got a shim here. It's probably quite tight, but if we can get this down, then we will. If not, we might just have to do our best. No, I think we're getting there. It's a bit of a pain to get these locks gutted. Basically, I just need a bridge that this can work along. So it's going to the side. Come on. Clearly, this doesn't want to be nicely shimmed, so let's try our best still. Looks like we're down center, or at least good enough. Okay, so now we're sorted down center. We've got the, that's there, that's there, that's there. Let's see if I've got a follower with a split in it and see whether that's enough to get past that. Probably not, but as long as the, let's have a look this way. Okay, that might work. That might work. So let's try and push. Will that work? No. Okay, if that doesn't work, then I do have some alternatives, but I might just try it this way with a shim, and hopefully everything will sort of be okay. Although I am worried about these little trap pins sort of firing off, but we might just have to go with it. A bit nervous. Do I have another hollow follower which is a bit thinner? Maybe, but that might not work. Okay. Let's try this one. That might be as good as we get. So, oh, I'm being a right idiot, but only dropped a couple of the inner pins out. So there we go. I'll put that back in, and these inner pins will go back in like this. I'll show you. Like that and like this. There we go. But it's a miracle we got it out. So there we go. That is. There's all sorts of things going on in here. So there's all sorts of things that want to come out. There's another of the pins with the internal pins in. This is a very short internal pin. But yeah, it all works. So we can sort of tap that out. Oh, there we go. Oh, there's that pin. Yeah. So just check that they're right. No. Ah, good. Right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is number 5. Let's check the inner pins are right. That short pin I put in there was clearly that cam mechanism pin. That's the correct pin for that. So that would be the correct pin for this. So these are inner and outer pins, just like you see in a multi-pick classic. And we can tap those out. So we've got the inner and outer at the back. And then this is a magnetic element here, which might not come out, and so remove the key. I've got another pin, then another pin. These are all the key pins. Yeah, on the top there will be some anti-drill plates, so I'll just tap those out hopefully, but they're very, very thick steel anti-drill sort of plate things. And then if I pull the key out gently, you'll see that that magnetic pin, which is reverse sprung, will spring out. So basically what happens is, I can show you it, that goes in like this and sits essentially at the shear line, but when I put the key in, the magnetic element pulls that down. If I put it in correctly, yeah, that's right, it will pull that down. There you go, snap like that, and you'll see it jump back out as I move the magnet. But it's very cool. It's a cool mechanism. So it's reverse sprung. It's springing back up into the shear line, and as I put the key in, hopefully it usually will snap down like that. There you go, and then the shear line is cleared. Kind of cool, right? So let's put that like that, and then that's basically the core. I'll leave that little spring in there, and that'll be that. Right, so those are all of those. Now when I gut this, I've got to be very, very careful, because it's a real pain, truthfully. Trying to use that shim to my advantage. So there are these little trap pins which just make life, can you see them here and here, just make life so much more worse than it needs to. So I might try to rotate the shim over one side like that, and then hopefully I can do one side at a time. I'd like them to stay where they are, but I just know that they don't like to, so yeah, so I'm going to put these here. So these are the ones left and right in chamber 1. This is the pin in pin assembly, so that's the outer spring for 1. I'll just put these little ones over here actually, and that's the inner spring with pin for pin stack number 1, which goes inside it. And I'm going to try very hard not to disturb them too much, so they go together with one inside the other. So that one goes inside here. Again, look at just a pin in pin assembly. And then I will move the shim down and try to get hold of this little trap pin on this side, which is being a bit shy, and you don't want to mess around with these too much either. The springs will come off. Move back down to pin stack 2. Again, pin in pin. Going down. 3 is that, so it's got a trap pin on one side, which, there we go, it's just going to fall out. I do not envy me putting this back together, by the way. This is just, honestly, it's one of the worst locks to have to put back together. It really is. That is the spring there. Yep. And this here is also a blind cap on it, so that the that magnetic little pin in pin 3 can't just disappear into the Bible. So that's a kind of cool feature. I'll show you that in a bit more in a minute. Again, we'll try and get the trap pin there. Stack 4. Oh, got it out together this time. And you can see that inner and outer spring there. Very cool. Then I'll try and do this one from the back. Might be a wee bit easier. I've got, okay, the trap pin. So that's in and the outer. The spring, and there's the other spring. And there's a trap pin 1, and then trap pin 2. Oh. There it is. Then another bit of brass just came out. I'm not sure where from. From somewhere. We'll figure that one out. I don't think it's come out from any of these parts. So, oh no, it might have done actually. It might have come out from here, just as a bit of a spacer. I think it might have come out from one of these, but we'll figure it out when we put it back together. But yeah, that's basically it. So we have these key pin in pins, the driver pin in pins. They're all standard. There's no serrations. Or maybe no, there's some spooling on this one, and on this one you'll see that spooling just there. So these driver pins. Let me try and get a bit close to you. Do some have a spool on like that? See that groove there? That's a spool. And let me show you this, that magnetic pin. Well, it's the pin that's drawn to the magnet. As we know, it's going to be being sprung down into the shear line, and all the driver pin's doing is it's sort of acting as a sort of a cup receptacle to stop it from going too far down into the shear line, disappearing. So yeah, kind of a cool little mechanism, that one. I like it anyway. So there you go. That is the Schlosser 3-star Eurocylinder, the, let's call it an ABS clone. But yeah, pretty cool. I like it. All right, I hope you enjoyed watching, and I'll see you all next time.